So my dude's Valk here, and today I want to talk to you about Mercy and what I have learned from playing Mercy for almost, well over 100 hours this season. I didn't pick Mercy up until right before Season 2. To show you guys what I mean, competitive Season 0, you can see I have 6 hours on Mercy. That's whenever I started picking her up. I think it's better to learn a character in ranked than it is to actually, try to learn them in quick play, because people don't try too hard in quick play. If I go all competitive seasons, you can see I have somewhere around, this season alone, 64 hours on Mercy across the PC and console pools. And then if I go in all modes, you can see I've gone up to 121 hours total on Mercy. I have played Mercy a ton. I have played Mercy this season for easily over 100 hours between quick play and competitive. And things I've learned on Mercy, there's a couple things to it. I'm going to just put the training mode in the background so I can think while I do it. I know people want gameplay, but I want to try to explain a lot that I've learned on Mercy. One is, don't be afraid to damage boost the tank. Now, what do I mean by that? I mean, you'll see so many people tell you never damage boost a tank, never boost a tank, never boost a tank, but it's all dependent. You have to kind of keep track of who is doing the most damage, who's having the most impact on the game, and how can you, as Mercy, if you want to have an impact on the game, how can you help them excel their game plan even more? You really want to be focusing on who's doing the most damage on your team. If it is a damage, if it's somebody that is doing, somebody that is signed up for damage, is doing the most damage, then by all means, try to buff them up, try to increase how much damage they're doing, help them excel, help them have a bigger impact, help them generate picks. That's a really big thing as Mercy, is you want to try to help generate picks by damage boosting whoever you think is going to be the best at it. Whether that be the Zarya, I think Zarya is a fantastic tank to actually damage boost because she does so much damage outright, as well as Junker Queen's also a good tank to damage boost. Whether that be them or be your normal targets such as Sojourn, such as Ashe, etc., you really want to try to prioritize who you think is going to have the most impact in that direct situation. A good example is, let's say your Ashe and stuff are coming back from spawn, but your Zarya is pressed up 1v3 or whatever, coming back from trying to clean up the fight. A good tactic would be to actually try to pocket your Zarya in that situation instead of worrying about your damage coming back from spawn, because your Zarya could potentially, well, normally, as long as the other tank is dead, should be able to kill everybody. Because odds are, 3 people pumping into her, she's going to be very charged, and whenever Zarya has charge, she does so much damage. So you're just going to help excel that damage and help kill people much faster. And that's kind of what you want to do. You want to try to push that break point. You want to try to help people die a lot faster so your team can secure eliminations and you can push. That's kind of where you generate a lot of impact as Mercy. Now, in terms of survivability, Mercy has insane survivability in terms of movement. For example, if you get really good at movement, you can do stuff like, let's say I'm healing them and I come around this corner, you can see the beam actually goes through the wall. So I can go around this corner, I can float for a second, come back here, go around this corner, float for a second, and rinse and repeat to keep myself generally safe and out of enemy sightlines. So I can play from around corners, all I gotta do is sit here and do this, and I can just sit here around the corner and kind of heal them while being in relative safety. And then there's also knowing when to dive as Mercy. I know a lot of people meme battle Mercy, but I'm going to let you know, a Valk popped Mercy is actually genuinely terrifying whenever it comes to actually fighting, because the movement is nuts. It is so hard to shoot a Valk popped Mercy outside of some form of auto aim and stuff like that. It's really, really hard to deal with, actually. And then there comes the really, really, really hard part of Mercy, and that's keeping track of enemy cooldowns, knowing what cooldowns they have available, and knowing how good they are or how likely they are to shoot you if you miss position, knowing where you can stand to pay attention to their line of sights, and also knowing exactly when they get their ult. So if you press this, if you don't know how ult conversion works, the way ult conversion works is normally 1 point of damage or 1 point of healing equals 1 ult charge. That's why a lot of supports have really high ult costs, simply because they're going to be healing a lot. They're going to be able to generate a ton of ult charge. But it's really good. It's not a must, but it's good to know stuff like Tac Visor about the ult charge it has, and stuff like moves that are generally auto aims that you're going to die, that are a big threat to you as Mercy, it's good to know about how much ult charge it takes for that move to be generated. So you can press this button and look at their enemy team's damage, look how much damage they have, and accurately assess about how much ult charge they have based off looking on that. So you could actually accurately say, hey, they have visor, I should play a little bit safer, I should play closer to a corner, and I should be watching my flank, because if I'm here and the enemy can press up and flank me from this right side here, I might not want to be that. I might want to play a little bit more up. I might want to play on this lip right here in front of me. I might want to play just directly around this and try to heal my team in a little bit riskier of position, but also safer from flank if I think the soldier's going to flank, if I don't see him anymore, if I don't hear his shots, if I don't, like, a big thing is listening to the bullets, knowing what bullets are being shot and stuff like that, so you can accurately, you know, assess the situation that you're in. There's a lot of macro play whenever it comes to Mercy. There's a lot of stuff you have to pay attention to. You have to pay attention to your team also. A really big thing as Mercy is you'll play ring around the rosy a lot of times with your team. Like, let's say they're on the other side of the pillar, you're trying to get to them to heal them. They'll be walking around the left while you're walking around the right, and vice versa and stuff, while you're trying to get to them to heal them. Being able to predict your team and knowing what patterns your team likes to take or what pathing your team likes to take, and also communication is also very big, because a lot of times people will see that they have a Mercy boosting them and play much more aggressively, because they're like, okay, I got a Mercy boost. So whenever you dip away, if you don't properly communicate that with your team, they could play aggressively into their own demise sometimes. So yeah, that's about all I learned, I think, after 100 hours of Mercy. I think. I'm going to show you my career profile stats on all seasons for Mercy so you guys get the idea. Are all comp seasons, so you guys can see about where I'm at, like win rate, lose, and stuff like that. Also, the other thing is healing done. You can see I have 9,300 healing per 10 minutes. I don't think that's like good. The main thing you want to really focus on is damage amped. Damage amp, your choice of who to damage amp is very, very valuable. It took me a long time to like try to learn exactly who I can damage amp, and if you feel like you're not getting good value out of your damage amp and you don't want to swap, then don't fear being a heal bot. Sometimes Mercy's consistent 55 HPS can actually be beneficial, but a lot of times you don't have enough healing to actually survive the burst damage that it is in Overwatch, because there's so much damage in the game that your healing's not that impactful. Oh yeah, and then tricks with movement, of course. So everybody knows whenever you're super jumping, you wait for that full bar to go up, and then you can crouch and you can get a super jump off, or you wait for the full bar to go up, then you can press the jump button and you can do it like super dash. So you either have a super jump or a super dash. But if you look at where you're going whenever you super dash becomes way better than super jump, because you can get much more height. Another way to do it is you actually dash faster, I believe, backwards. I don't have any like actual evidence of this. This is just feel, right? It feels like you dash faster and further dashing backwards than you do going forwards. So a lot of times, let's say I want to get around this corner, I'll do something like this to go ahead and get around the corner. I'll spin my camera around, just dash backwards, or for example, you can go in, look at the ground, pull back, and you can see I got a really, really good height there. And yeah, you go way up in the sky. As adverse to this, with the super jump, it feels slightly lower. Maybe it's just bias, I don't know. Maybe it's just perception bias, but it feels like it's slightly lower. I don't know. But yeah, that I believe is about everything I've learned after 100 hours on Mercy. I think I covered everything. I don't know. I really like this character. I know it surprised the hell out of a lot of my friends. It surprised the hell out of me. I didn't expect to like Mercy as much as I do. But I really like this character. She's super fun. This is coming from a guy who mains Ball and Ashe mostly, and apparently Bastion now. I really like Overwatch 2 Bastion. Bastion. I don't really care for Overwatch 1 Bastion too much, but Overwatch 2 Bastion is really fun. I do like recon mode tracking. I think Bastion and Overwatch 2 is pretty fun. But I never expected to like Mercy as much as I do, and I really, really like her. Anyways, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. If you guys have any advice that I may have missed in my 100 hours on Mercy, go ahead, post in the comment section below, because I'm saying everything I can generally think of. while trying to showcase it in a practice range. But, you know, I'm not perfect. I miss stuff all the time. And I still have a lot of learning. I still have a lot of experience to go. And another big thing as Mercy is don't give up. A lot of matches you will feel like there's no real target for you to help. There's nothing you can really do if like let's say none of your damage are doing very good. You're trying to damage boost them, but you're not getting a lot of value out of it. The best thing you can do at that point is try to swap back, try to compensate for the lack of damage, etc. But if you're a Mercy one trick, you're just going to have those games. It's just going to happen. Like, you're just going to have games to where you feel like you can't do anything. And Mercy, the way Mercy functions essentially is she's an enabler. She exists purely to enable your team to make great greater, to make good better, to make anything better than what it is. You can't make nothing better, right? You can't make bad good, but you can make good great. Does that make sense? As Mercy, if somebody isn't hitting the bullets to deliver the amplified damage, you can't make that better. There's no point in damage amping that. There's no point in blue beaming that. That's why it's important to pay attention to your damage and how well they're doing. Don't audibly say it. Don't say, hey, you're doing too bad for me to pocket you. Tilting your teammates is never a good way to try to win a game, but it's just a reality that you need to focus on as Mercy to try to get as much value out of your damage amplification as you can. So if you're having games like that occur, just don't give up. Just keep trying. Like you can see in my career profile, I've gone up from Plat 4, I've been demoted to Gold 1. I think I'm taking a break from the rest of the season right now because Sojourn is such a problem that I just genuinely am so tired of going against her. I'm tired of that character diving in on me and just one-tapping me with a Mercy boost behind her. It's not fun. It's not fun at all just getting absolutely blasted by that character. I really hope they do something about her in Season 3 because so far every single nerf they've done has just absolutely fell flat. But from my experience of playing Mercy, just don't give up. Just keep trying. Keep doing your best. Focus on yourself. Focus on staying alive. Focus on damage boosting those who are worth damage boosting. Focus healing people who need it. And for the love, don't be too res happy too. I know a lot of Mercies who will suicide res. If you suicide res, make sure it is a high value suicide res, such as something like trying to res the tank in overtime to contest the point, because you are one of the most important members on your team. You have to prioritize your own survival before anyone else's. If you are dying the most, on Mercy, one of two things is happening. Either they have absolutely cracked hit scan and you have terrible positioning, or you're just not prioritizing your own life, which you absolutely should be doing. You are very important to stay alive and try to do that. That's why Mercy's survivability with her mobility is so insanely strong, because you want to stay alive. Anyways, that's basically the video. Damn, this went on a lot longer than I thought it would. This is basically the video. Thank you guys for watching. Catch you guys in the next one. Peace.